Welcome to the Fifth Trooper Podcast.
Welcome to the Fifth Trooper Podcast. My name's Evan, and today I've got Nick with me.
Hey.
And our LVO sweetheart, Bushfax. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
So we're changing it up a little bit. Jay's got a lot on his plate, so I'm going to be taking over the Fifth Trooper with Nick here for a while. And we're going to be doing, we're going to be coming up with just some more interesting stuff. So instead of just a normal, like what's new in Legion, we'll be doing those, but it'll be like, maybe we'll play a TTS game and kind of talk about it while we play, or maybe we'll do some impromptu unit reviews or something like that. A little bit more like the Fifth Trooper has always been a variety show. That's what we started it as. And I think that needs to keep living. A lot of the other casts do great work, but Fifth Trooper used to be like the everyman's blue collar kind of thing. That's why it was here. So I'd like to bring that back, and we can, see what's going on with that. But
hold on, you play Legion?
Dude, I play it poorly. I go to tournaments and have to leave early most of the time. So like whatever, like doesn't matter. But speaking of playing Legion, LVO just happened. And some of the stats are out, and good thing we have Bushman here, who is the
Can anyone do
master.
stats here?
Yeah, the stat master. So he can. We're just gonna grill him for a good 45 minutes of just straight interrogation style.
Oh,
all right.
Sad.
So I'll go first. Yeah. So what was your list?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Yeah, got
Deep
him.
cuts.
Oh man, very deep. I brought Han, Luke, and Chewie, Fly Boys. I got Chewie right here on video if you're watching. I got a little
Perfect.
Han shirt going
Cool.
here.
Excellent.
And it's Operative Luke. It's 5 Luke command cards. The only one I don't take is You Serve Your Master Well. And mainly just because I don't have like Wookiees to serve, and if I play against droids, it's useless. And what else is in that list? Protector is an important part of the list. I have double vets, both with the heavy weapon, and double Mark IIs, and then 3 snipers.
You remember when Serve Your Master was going to break the game? Everyone was like so scared of that card, and like
I
Yeah.
still love Serve. I mean, obviously this
It's-
list isn't built for it, but
There's too many. Yeah, I don't know. It lets you kind of pretend to be Yoda a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, it's that, and like a whole faction doesn't care about it, like at all, right? Like
If you're going to do it to
Well,
the
yeah.
enemy, yeah.
Yeah.
because you would build your list with something like else scary to serve, like
Yeah,
Wookiees
as a
come.
backup, really.
Yeah.
Like,
so. Okay, cool. Yeah, like it's when I was looking at your list and all the lineups. We saw like droid gunline. Droid gunline's very good right now. It's very consistent. You have orders whenever you want it. You don't care about suppression mostly. It's kind of annoying. I
think the best thing to note about it is it's not a pure gun line with the madness, which
Yeah.
are usually in there. You've got like an actual credible melee threat too, and
yeah, it kind of covers.
I
all
think
the-
it's at
the
least more
spider
interesting
droids.
to play against than like Red Star.
Okay, yeah. So let me rephrase my statement then. It's more interactive
You
than
better.
like Rexstar
Yeah.
and like that Saber standby sharing list. Like there's more.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, there's more stuff going on in it, but it's still like I only got to catch your last game, and I remember like those 2 spider droids, like 6 hits and 6 hits or something. I'm just
always.
like, oh
all
my
5
gosh,
rounds.
like holy
Yeah.
cows, poor like. So
Yeah.
I am not disparaging you if you play the droid gun line, and congrats to the winner of LVO. I don't remember his name though.
JR.
JR. So JR, hey, you did it.
Yeah.
Like that's
JR
actually a
Dieter, I
huge,
believe, if the
Yeah.
article in front of me is correct.
that's actually a really big win. So
Congrats.
congratulations.
Yeah,
And
he
again,
went 9-0.
Jeez. Damn, you
Yeah.
guys on fire.
That's
And-
a lot of games.
And it's no discouraging to you if you bring those lists. It's just the new like thing to play. So you're gonna see it a lot at like higher end tables. And any game I play, I hate seeing the same thing like over and over again. Just in like principle. Like my X-Wing 1.0 days, I would see the same 3 ships every time. I knew your cards before you even told them
And-
to me.
To be fair to Dieter, he did have he actually had a pretty unique spin on the gunline
He
list
did.
because going
Yeah.
back to
No
it, he did
Magnas.
not have Madness.
Yeah,
He actually ran Maul, which
it's cool.
and he had a
I
few other
can-
little twists in there too, with like some rockets and stuff. But and he had Kalani instead of like the usual Kraken or standard. Like there was some spice there. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Kalani juices up the spiders even
Yes.
even
a lot, a lot.
Yep.
All right.
Turns out double aims on precise 4 is pretty nice.
Yeah, being able to do it
Jeez.
when you want, and not having to
Yeah.
fish for that order token. And
like sometimes I look at a unit and I say, what were they thinking? And then I look at this, like it was like Tons, right? That was the first one where it really kind of got egregious. Or when you first see the stat card, Tons are kind of like, they're kind of gone. They're not gone, but no one's like, you don't see trip Ton lists like all the time like you used to.
This is after like 2 nerfs.
Yeah, after like they got like nerfed into the ground. And like, it was Tons and it was like Maul, and then no one cared about Cad Bane. Like you just kind of like,
Oh, what were they thinking?
yeah, what are they thinking
Other
the
way.
opposite way? And then she's the Spire Droid.
Hot
so
take
good.
on that though, before
Yeah.
we get too far away from him. I think now that Red Star is kind of dead, granted the Saber Tank kind of fills that void. I think there's more room for Tons to kind of come back now. They have some strong competition with Wookiees, but it wouldn't surprise me if like something like hit Wookiees, if you would see Tons back in their place. That's the first hot take of the episode.
okay.
What,
that's
what do
a
you
good
think,
one.
John?
I mean, I don't know why Tons came off the board really. Like
I think it was standby sharing that really.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't get in
But-
because of the
Yeah,
range
that was
2.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, let's take a look at
Well, range
Rebels.
3 back then.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
with
yeah.
the
Yeah.
so let's
But
take
because
a,
Tons are forced to come into 2.
Yes,
take a
exactly.
group. So was it Wookiees are
And I think
Wookiees
that
with-
part of the reason Tons might be able to do that is they don't take your special forces slots, so you have standby stripping snipers there.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see how spicy
Also-
that gets.
so okay. Just out of curiosity, so what would be a standard Wookie build? Bowcaster, tenacity,
Recon
offensive
intel,
push.
offensive push.
push. Okay. And then Tons would be what, like tenacity, maybe comms jammer?
If you're doing the classic Leia build, it's like 2 jammers and an uplink, right? Maybe if you're running
Yeah.
R2, it's 2 uplinks and a jammer.
So I'll throw let's throw an uplink on there just to say this is the expensive version of each. And maybe we give the Wookiees recon intel because that's always pretty good. So they're only 1 point off. If you
In
do it
which
like
direction?
that. Wookiees are 1 point more expensive.
And I don't normally take recon intel. So
Yeah,
they'd be
so you
cheaper.
cut that. So you're
Okay. So
Wookiees
now you're 1 point cheaper.
yeah, 108, and then Tons are 109. So like they even fill the same point spot, right? So they're almost interchangeable with how
So
you put them
Wookiees
in.
throw how many dice?
Oh yeah, that's a
They do. Wookiees throw what?
8 dice.
Yeah.
Well, 9. Assuming if
9.
you have tenacity up, so best case it's 9.
Best case 9
Uh,
compared to Tons 4.
Hitting about a little more than half of them. So let's say they get like 5, 6 hits in there.
and then
Tons are
Tons
coming
would
in
throw
with also tenacity, so they're
7.
coming in with 7, but turning 2 misses into hits because of RAM.
Yeah, Ram's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
Tons are more
I bet it's
reliable.
comparable.
I
They
know
don't have the ranged option, the range flex, but they're faster. No scale, and it goes back and forth. I think Wookiees are
Relentless and
definitely
sharpshooter is
better.
a big part of it.
yeah,
Mhm.
being able to do the pop out and shoot and pop back in, like the hide and seek if you need to. Like it's
Yeah.
not like great,
Yeah.
but it's an option, right? I don't know.
I
That's
think all in all, Wookiees
interesting-
are probably better, but if like standby stripping needs to become more important, or there's some sort of other meta shift or nerf to Wookiees or whatever, it would not surprise me if that's a thing.
Huh. I didn't realize they're so close in points. For whatever reason I thought like
Yeah.
there'd be more of a gap, but that's interesting. I mean, do Tons deal with vehicles?
So
Yeah,
compare
they ram
those
it
two
into
Mhm.
crits.
while we're on points.
Yeah.
Compare those two and then the range 4, 6 die, 8 rerolls. 70 points of a spider.
Oh yeah.
What do you? Oh God. So yeah, let's
30
pull-
points cheaper.
let's pull up another tab here so I can have multiple of these. So it's just like it's like keyword soup. Like, so all right, spider.
Yeah.
Let's give him what, the attack protocol.
No, yeah.
Attack protocol.
Somehow the cheapest one.
So ion cannon also the cheapest. And
You gotta
and
be careful.
LTA.
The iron ones can get kind of dumpstered if they somehow do get stuck on AI.
Yeah,
True.
but you're separatists. Like, you don't let it happen. Either with
True.
There are
override or
vehicles,
orders.
it's a little
like-
bit harder.
Yeah,
You gotta do it with override,
yeah.
which
And
they
then,
Override
probably will.
or comms relay. A
Yeah.
lot of people are bringing comms relay to push an
Yeah.
order to them.
Huh. Man, yeah, I guess that's, comms relay is one of those cards where like I used to think about it with chronic death troopers all the time. Like I just had it and then I kind of forget it exists.
I ran it in Vader League on my T series. Granted, I didn't make single limbs because I didn't practice, but
Jeez.
yeah,
Yeah,
it helps to bounce it onto something. That was double AAT, so
for 73 points, like you get range 2 to 4, 3 black, so 6 dice, ion 1, impact 2. Not that you don't even really care about the ion and impact, right?
It's
just
6 dice at range 4
6 dice
with
range
8
4.
rerolls.
Like,
as long as you can support it right to make it happen.
Yeah.
like
It's
that's
scary.
So you were saying earlier it's harder to get aims on them or orders on them because they're vehicles. Both Kalani and the regular super attack have direct AI
Well,
unit.
yes, and I
So
think
they'll
that's
direct
that's
one
kind of what
and
we're
they'll
getting at,
relay
is
the second one.
they have to be babysat by a super attack.
Sure.
yeah. I mean, it's worth it to
So sad.
the bitterness, but
I mean that's I mean, obviously, hot take, spiders are good.
yeah. Holy cow.
But-
self-destruct. In all your time playing, did you see any actually self-destruct?
No, one tried.
Okay, the brave soul tried to do the
It was a flamethrower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I played against a
that
lone
still exists.
flamethrower and he charged round 1. I think it was before Chewie or Luke had gone. So Chewie tapped him, put
Yeah.
like 2 wounds on him. Luke burst of speeded into him.
Oh,
And then I think I still had to finish him next round. But I have like whatchamacallit, Han's card. Sorry about the mess to go first.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah, you
CC
have to,
initiative.
Alright.
Armor 3, climbing vehicle, expert climber, 6 wounds, white dice, but they surged it on everything. Like,
Yeah.
and they have wicked
They're
kick.
basically a clone ATRT. I mean,
They don't get
armor
shot at,
2,
though,
essentially, yeah.
because they're at range 4 and they have armor.
Mhm.
So you need range 4 impact to shoot back.
Which is other spiders.
Yes.
Spider fight. The new
pretty
meta
much.
is sniper war. It's spider war.
And there's speed 2 on the 50mm bases. So like they can move. Like they can, if your snipers are at range 5, they will move and get range 4.
They're gonna be stuck after they do that. They pretty much get the first one free, and then maybe another one free on the Super Tat 3 pip. And
Yeah.
they're stuck recover shooting, but
Right. By then, normally they have the field covered though.
yeah, that's the idea.
So
But anyway,
yeah, go ahead, Nick.
so that was a hell of a tangent. But
Yeah.
So I think it's time we start grilling him about some like the details of his list here.
Sure.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, let's get those tasty deets out. Did you ever have suppression trouble with Han and duck and cover?
He panicked at some point, but I can't remember if it was this tournament or not. I don't think so. Honda get shot a lot.
Huh.
Like he just did. I had other targets. They kept trying to chunk down the heavy weapons, and then Chewie's just sitting there. Mine.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Guardian's a good card.
Guardians, crazy good.
Yeah.
What was that, like 5 points?
Protector.
Protector. Is
Yeah,
5,
sorry.
yeah.
Guardian's a good ability
Yeah.
on Chewie specifically because it's just whatever you want, right? It's not commander
Yeah.
only. And then Guardian is A protector is 5. Okay.
Yeah, 5 points.
And it's one of those you get to do it once. But
Yeah,
you get a
which
free,
is
get the free
tough
read.
against that range 4. I'm always gonna roll a crit stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like you get the free, it's once, but it's like not, you won't ever have to recover it. You probably just
Right.
take the free. It's like got a super
It's like improvised orders
yeah.
Yeah, it comes back.
once per round.
So what was what's your most of the field look like? Were they mostly droids?
I played against 4 droid lists, and
Okay.
then 2
not-
Imperial and 2 Gar.
Okay.
Did you come across the dreaded saber? Or did you
I
dodge it?
did on Sunday.
Ooh.
It was actually in my head, it was a more favorable choice than the other 4 separatists that were there on Sunday. Because the top 6 were 4 separatists, the tank, and myself.
Okay, so
Jeez.
how'd that one go?
That was a crazy game. Holy crap. I had thought about this game, for the last month or so since Mike Jeb
Yeah.
made it famous. And I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, stay outside range too. It's fine. I have plenty critical. That tank will go down eventually. But that thing's getting 10 dodges every round. I'm not
Yep.
even exaggerating.
Yep.
10. Every round. On top of surges, on top of standbys. Granted, I did avoid all of the standbys except for one where Yoda pushed Luke into it,
Mhm.
which was fine. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. Luke had a dodge, heavy cover. I think I took a wound. But so many dodges, and he could dodge all the crits. So I'd have some super hot rolls, fire supporting with critical 4, and I'd get 6 crits. And he's like, I'm gonna dodge 5 of them and roll 1. It's just like,
Yeah,
all right.
dude.
Yeah.
That was me at PAX. I had when I played against the list, I had Chewie, 3 clones who actually rolled a lot of crits that game into it, but Chewie, 3 clones, 3 Wookiees with bowcaster, and then 3 the Fluttercraft, all with impact and pierce. And I maybe did 5 damage to it. And then when I started racking up, R2 just came and healed it twice. And I'm like, what do I do? It was I don't I thought because my list was anti-vehicle because I expected to go against vehicle lists.
Yeah, it
And then I
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I couldn't even hurt it. Granted, it all fell apart for me with the map layout, but yeah.
I actually played against Timbo in the last Invader League, and he was running the last ride of the original clone saber list. So it wasn't even the Yoda
Okay.
version; it was just the Padme version.
Okay.
Dude.
And I was running double AAT, both with anti-armor shells, and I'm pretty sure I worked out the math that if I just sat there and shot him all game with both tanks into the saber, I still wouldn't kill it or wouldn't even damage it. It just.
Dude, it's so weird. The tank isn't even that cool. I'm gonna say so it was in Battlefront, right? That's
it gives me OG Battlefront memories.
Yeah.
And you'd get it and you'd be like, all right, well, you get a couple you get a kill streak going with you're someone supporting it and then you blow up and you're like, okay, well, whatever. So when it came out, I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then now I play against it, I'm like, yo, what is this thing?
Boogeyman.
Yeah, right. It's actually so an earlier complaint. If you go back to many 5th troopers a while ago, Jay and I used to very much chagrin that vehicles kind of sucked. Boots on the ground was just better, which the game's meant to be. But when an ATST's on the field, you should, as a guy in the field, you should be scared. You're like, oh crap, an ATST's here, we're dead. What are we gonna do? We're rebels wearing t-shirt and shorts.
Right.
What are we gonna do? And then the vehicle would stomp over, and you'd be like, God, dice. After heavy cover and a 1, and then the rebel would just roll, get a surge, okay, nothing. You're like, that was 200 points. They didn't feel like they were worth the points, and they weren't scary, and you just ignored it. So on one hand, I was happy that the tanks AAT and the Saber are tanks, and you're kind of scared of them a little bit, but it's gotten to the point where my ire for AATs has like gone away just for that saber. Like he's the saber has like I'll make a Hunt Showdown reference. Skewered me right through a wall, and then just one shot me. I don't know how to deal with it. But back to again another tangent. That's okay. But back to
Stay on
LVO.
target.
Yeah, I know. Nick, hit him with another. You've got better LVO questions than I do about like what was your favorite shirt you wore.
Shirt
All right.
decisions were big this weekend.
That's what I'm
for
saying.
sure.
It kind of matters.
All right, so I just will go down. There's a lot of like interesting like choice upgrades here, and I'm probably just gonna hit like most of them.
Yeah.
Did you use saber throw?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Especially in that tank game.
Mhm.
I actually opted to use burst of speed round 1. Maybe it was 2. No, it was round 2. To get Luke into a position with a single move where I was like base contact with this piece of terrain in the middle in range 2 of the tank that had a standby, but the tank couldn't see me.
Mhm.
Tank's so big, he's drawing line of sight from 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not impossible to find those spots. So I saber through and fire support it with a Mark II. So now all of a sudden that's 8 black dice with surge crit, with impact 2 and pierce 2. He had a couple of dodges ramped up by then, but I think I still dealt 2 or 3 wounds with that shot.
Okay,
So
so
then I
not
sat
not
there and
missing
kept doing it.
not missing mind trick.
No.
All right.
Never. No.
Bleh.
Okay.
You've got nothing against airspeeders if you don't have saber throw. You are 200
That's-
point paperweight
fair.
against airspeeders.
That's fair. I just Chewie cannot shoulder the burden. So speaking just not airspeeders, but made me think rebels here, and so you've got Overwatch on a vet squad.
Yeah,
Did you
that
ever
was a
play
weird
off that?
choice. I did a couple times. I would stand by. I only had 1 or 2 opponents that didn't have range 4 plus. But I did have a couple games where I was able to funnel areas, and I would stand by with either Mark II or the Rebel Vets with Overwatch is a lot scarier than a Mark II standing by.
Yeah.
8 dice instead of 4. And so I did use it, but it never triggered. I probably would have been better off with recon intel on the vets, on both vets.
Throw
And
the
then so
blasters
I
up?
could throw the blasters further, the Mark IIs. Since they're not in danger from early on because Chewie's going to be there to guardian them anyways. That position probably
okay,
could
there
have
we
been more
go.
useful.
We slipped into one there too. I was wondering, how do you keep your blasters from just evaporating?
I think
Chewie.
only
There you go.
8 games. I think I lost 2 blasters
Wow.
Damn.
and maybe 3 rebel trooper models beside that. No, in one game Vader killed like all of them. But but the other 7 games, like I lost very few core units. Chewie guardianing them, and by the time it takes a round or 2 for them to get through the cover and Chewie, and by then Luke and Han are in your face. You've been whittled away, and they're still shooting full strength. By then,
Okay.
like it's snowballed enough.
What are your
Nice,
thoughts
nice.
on Han right now?
God, he's so good.
Yeah, you think he's
So good.
He's finally it's time.
Yeah, especially if he has a melee partner that can keep him out of melee. Really, like Luke. Chewie didn't get to be that for him most of the time because he was just a bullet sponge. But he's so good. In both clone games I played, by round 4-ish, he could really come out and go for the clones. And he's a one-man janitor. I mean, he cleans up all of the clones very quickly.
Did you
Nice.
find him the damage you put out not great against droids, just because of the amount of hit points they have, and like they don't really
Yeah.
care if they lose the damage.
Yeah, and because they're always in heavy cover.
Yeah.
Because not only do they have so many bodies, but their amount of bodies keeps them in heavy cover longer.
Yeah, because they can spread out.
Yeah. And so I'm doing one at a time, which 1 out of 7 is like, oh, who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
Do that every round, and then yeah, you'll have one squad almost.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Very lackluster against droids, except for Magna Guards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnus.
Magnas-
Every wound you pierce through in the madness seems to be golden. But
Magna's never got into melee. I played against a 2, a 3, and a 2, so 7 Magnas. And if you could get into range 3 with Han, then they're not in charge range. They could shoot at you, but who cares? You're gonna ignore 3 hits and double roll the blocks against the others. So if you're in range 3, you can move a full range band, shoot 2 squads or them and another, remove 4 models, and move back into range 3, where they can't charge you.
Nice. It's almost like what Cad Bane should be, but just isn't.
Just isn't.
just isn't.
So sad.
rest in peace, Cad Bane. So great. I'm not really a Han expert. If I was trying to build a Han, I think my first gut instinct would not be to put E-Gear on him, but would to put the ascension cables on him. Did E-Gear come up often enough?
All the time. Yeah.
That the non-exhaust was worth it?
To jump over a barricade to get that range 2 and run right back over the barricade. It's huge.
Yeah, it's funny that like
multiple times per game.
Well, I would do it twice in a round, you know?
Well,
Move over
the
and
tables
over,
last
back
the
over it.
round, but
it'd be. Oh, go ahead, John.
I mean, I would sit there at range 3 and continuously do it from then until the rest of the game. So
okay, cool.
6 rounds of 6 shots of 2
probably
shooting.
3 or 4 rounds, but yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, it's funny that like E-Gear in my mind is supposed to be for like difficult terrain, but difficult terrain doesn't really exist in Legion. It's just barricades. Very rare do I see tables that have like rubble or like, you know,
there's some dense woods that you catch sometimes.
Yeah, it's just not as much as you like. The rules, there's some very like cool, like not, I don't say they're cool, but like some very good rules for it, how it all works. It's just like most of the time on most tables I play in places, just like this is a brick, and that's a brick, and that's a brick that looks like a house, and that's a brick that looks like a landing pad, and you dodge around
Tables
the
are you
brick.
playing on?
It's the
Those
age
sound
of 3D
boring.
printing, though.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, it's mostly 40K terrain is what I play on, and that's bricky 40.
Yeah.
So you take all of it, and that's mostly what it is, right? Like we as a group we've made. We have to bring our own terrain in to the one store we go to, because if we leave it there, it gets broken. So we bring in our own terrain and play. And like, we've got some Legion stuff between the locals and I, but it's Death Ray Designs did some great stuff. I really want some more of that. I have a great Kill Zone terrain mat. It's like their Neon City that actually comes with like barricades and pottery plants and like trash cans and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that'd be fun. Like just to have like scatter. Scatter's tough to do sometimes too. Like, so you, in my mind, like environmental gears for that, but it's really just to ignore barricades. It should just say you ignore barricades. And I think people would take it just as much, right? Like it doesn't matter anything else. Like just like ignore barric. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Because sometimes you need that one last jump over to get to an objective that got blocked. Like a hidden strategy of fortified positions is putting barricades to block people's movement. Like it seems like you just use it for cover, but sometimes you throw it out there to be like, no, you're gonna have to, you know, it's gonna slow you down.
Speed 1.
Yeah. So it's like maybe like that's interesting. Sorry, Nick. I'm just like I take a tangent and I'm just
No, that's fine. It's
full of Canadian
beautiful.
dry sugar. But all right, you got another hot take for him or hot question.
So I'm not sure if you were on the Scoundrels episode or not. It was a few back. And they were discussing, I think, Rebel snipers in particular. And they were talking about maybe not bringing them and bringing like the naked squad instead for more bodies. Do you think that you would ever do that, or did they kind of bail you out of enough?
They bailed me out so much. Especially that tank game. That tank game, my entire army, minus the snipers, flanked hard one side behind a good LOS blocking piece of terrain, and then the 3 snipers went to the opposite side. That forced the tank to come here, exposing the side. So now these snipers not only ignore all 10 dodges, but they have impact 1
Impact, yeah.
and pierce. So like the 3 snipers on their own, I think did 7 damage to the tank.
Wow. Damn.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's weak point sides if you can get there. You know, it's funny because like the low profile, like snipers are just they broke Legion. Like there's so many rules and things like that go around. And I remember when Luke Eddy was at Neo, and we were we're watching. It was like a top tables, like the day 2 or something, and we were talking just like these are pretty good. These may be too good, and we're like, yeah. Like, what's a Rebel sniper now? What, 48 points?
yeah.
I think, yeah, 48. And it's 48 points that affects the board just about every turn if it's not babysitting an objective, right? Like you can run, take a VAP,
It
and
could
you
be
don't
both.
care. Yeah, it could be doing both. It could be sitting on a box and shooting. It could be go take a VAP and then shoot. Whereas like a naked thing of rebels, rebel troopers, yeah, may have more hit points and has nimble's value's gone up with vigilance, but that's beside the point. Like they run back and they take a box, and that's probably it. Right, they're not really contributing to the fight besides being an activation you can stall with, maybe. Or snipers just they do so much, and with the low profile buff. So okay, let's go back even farther. So infinite range,
Jumping in the
mistake.
Wayback Machine.
Yeah, I know. Infinite range to me was a mistake. For non-heroes, I like the heroes have it. That's their thing, right? They're supposed to be, and Cassian are supposed to be like really good shots, right? So whatever, that's sacred for heroes. So okay, they goofed up. So now they say 1 to 5, but now the cards say 1 to 5. So then they have to. That's a whole nother problem. So we go back. Now we zip forward to that. It ends up becoming a buff for snipers because now you don't have to play these sniper games of
Sniper versus sniper.
Yeah, you don't have to play these like 3v3. Like,
turns out you removed their natural predator.
yeah, of the other snipers, right? So now they're free to shoot at something else, and then now they shift from being just sniper killers to unit killers. And so okay, they kind of get phased out a little bit now. The better special ops comes out. Wookiees, I don't know, Empire has anything that's special.
IRG.
IRG, yeah. I mean, maybe I don't remember the last time I've seen IRG.
There were a lot this weekend.
Oh, we're there. Oh, okay. Joke the pie on my face.
We just had a discussion here about how good Guardian was.
Yeah.
Guardian is very good. I think the problem with IRG is I don't see many without Palp, and that's a certain kind of way to play them.
Yeah.
I don't see many in my local anyway.
They like to Guardian Dubacks with the IRG.
Oh my gosh.
This weekend and New Orleans.
Dubach, Bosk.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, I get with Bosk, like Bosk's invincible.
Yeah, you just lose
rough.
forever. Okay, so now they don't kill snipers, they kill troops. So you're like, crap. Now they're even if they put a suppression out, that's annoying. So that's obnoxious. So now then the low profile buff comes, and man, do they super not care about other snipers. Like you put them out there in sight of another sniper, and like, well, you need to roll crit. You can either fish for a crit or you can do nothing to me. That's fine. Like whatever, let's go. That just like blew my mind. Han needing the buff, but sorry, that's my I had a sniper tangent that I just still hate them vehemently.
I think we're learning today mostly that Evan is just full of hate.
I am, man. It's just like you see these. You've been in Legion as long as I've been, as long as pretty much everybody here has been, and probably most of our listeners. And you see the trends kind of come. Like the game for a while was this unit's really good, buy 3 of that unit and just play the max of that unit and kind of build your list around it. And I'm glad the days of snipers are gone, but you almost need them now. Like it's coming back to like Rebels and Imperial kind of need that long range Pierce to deal with some stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think snipers will ever be a bad choice. I mean, obviously price dependent, but as long as they're cheap and can continually do like something safely, I
Yeah.
think there's always going to be room in Legion for a cheap activation that actually contributes. Whether or
all
not
right.
they're too good versus, the limited slots and everything and all that balance stuff,
Yeah.
fine. But I think they'll always be playable.
I wish saboteurs some were played, but saboteurs are super board dependent.
Yeah.
But all right, so back on LVO, I know another just sound like snipers. Let me tell you something about snipers. Okay, so at the tournament, well, first off, I'll go back. How was it? Did you have fun, pal?
It was a lot of fun. It was only 3 games a day, so plenty of time to relax and
Yeah.
get dinner with everyone after. I really liked, I feel like this was the most variety I've faced in a tournament as well. Apart from the droids can go screw themselves. The Imperials and the Gar, all 4 of those matches were all very different. And it was a lot of fun.
I'm surprised no rebels, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't get paired against. That would have been honestly a tough match.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the red saves. Because my list has Pierce 10 in it.
Yeah.
Have you done the math on like the different lists? Like, have you compiled those yet, or is
Not
that still
yet.
in progress?
No.
What did you like see? Okay, so I'm assuming there was a lot of Dubats, there's a lot of Vader.
Mhm.
Was there anything that you saw a lot of that surprised you?
I saw a lot of that surprised me. There were more double airspeeder, I
Yeah.
think, than which was in the back of my mind. It shouldn't have surprised me, but
Yeah, that list honestly terrifies me.
it's gross, and I would have struggled against it.
You remember when they were the worst unit in the game? Like a joke, like for a while, and they got buff after
I remember.
buff
I
after
don't
buff.
remember what event it was. It might have been the one that you had at NEO, but was that the one where you gave out a golden airspeeder
Yeah,
from
that
the
was my
jankiest
idea.
list?
Yeah, so originally the jankiest list was going to be a list that was just wild and crazy and like just something, and it was going to be judge discretion. Like, that list is like one of everything that's available or something, just something weird someone brought. It was like, hey, I know I'm not top. And then the golden airspeeder was spray painted gold, put on a trophy, and then like it's funny, right? Because the airspeeder was the worst unit then. Like still was bad. Bringing 2 was considered suicide, right? Like they just don't do anything. And it was one of our locals who ended up bringing like it was like 2 airspeeders and like 3 ATRTs and like it, but it didn't have like there weren't the problem with like heavy.
And now
rebel vehicles.
that sounds terrifying. Now,
Yeah, now it sounds really good. Back then it wasn't because there's no points drops on the ATRT guns. The airspeeders had nothing. Like they didn't surge, so it was just like he got like I think he got I don't want to like discredit score, but I think he just got like 0-6 or something or 0-5 because he just like they kill his troops and then the vehicles the objectives weren't diversified then, so it was just like everything had the trooper keyword needed in it, so he couldn't take objective. It was like, but he brought it and he lived the dream and he got the award. So yeah, we publicly made fun of the airspeeder constantly. And like the worst part was an ATST killed an airspeeder. It wasn't even a game, right? Like you just 2-shot it. And it's the thing is supposed to destroy those, right? In the games and the shit, like everything, like they pew, 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 they swoop down, blow one up and go, right? Like it's what happened. But what happened? But yeah, that's man. I just 130 points now. Like, what were they thinking? It's surge to like
we're back
surge
to
to
that.
crit.
We're back to the what was it? What were they thinking?
Yeah, like surge to crit. Like it's Good Lord. And impact.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with surge to crit. I think it's honestly like kind of rare that it with its dice of its quality that the surge to crit matters against not armor.
Yeah.
You know, the guardian and stuff notwithstanding. But because making it a better vehicle killer is fine. Because it's its job. But it just is just like such an assassin unit now.
Yeah, it could have been just surge to hit and probably been fine, right? Still did the job of with impact 3 to hit a vehicle and feel like it hit it.
I would have just like upped its impact or something.
Yeah, this is it's not. It started at 175.
Give it
points.
reliable 2 or whatever.
Yeah, reliable. Yeah, give it. Just that's like the fix for most things in this game right now is to slap reliable 2 on it. And they're like, yeah, you got a couple surge tokens, you'll be all right. But okay. Let's see what else was about LVO that was interesting. Okay, so this is a good one. I didn't go to LVO, but I could say the event hall was probably better than ACO.
Yeah,
Not the event hall, but like the venue.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
It was Vegas.
Yeah,
right?
it was
So-
okay. Was every interaction $20? It might have been.
Yeah,
Oh damn!
yeah.
All right. I was told that
$4 bottles of water that weren't
Oh.
even like a full bottle,
Okay. All right.
and very hard to
Sounds
access
like
water,
Vegas.
like walking a quarter mile to get it.
Okay. I was told by some of the attendees that ACO was like extra expensive, more than
I
Vegas.
don't remember it being that expensive.
I remember like ACO shocked me. I'd never been to LVO, so that's the first time. That's the first time me at like staying at a casino, right? Like I've been to the Turning Stone for Kanto. It's fine, like it's whatever. Like, but
Yeah,
I've never been like shocked by prices. And this is the first time they looked me in the eye and they were like highwaymen, and they're like, "You're gonna pay $20 for a Red Bull and Swedish Fish." And I go, "Okay," like they taking like, "Here's your change, $2." Like it's. I was just shocked. So like to the Legion 99 guys, they ran a great event. The event they ran was awesome. They had great terrain tables. The prizes were great. They're a lot of fun. It wasn't their fault. Like they ran the great Legion event for me. It's just the hall was in like not the hall, but the event place was just like, I remember we wanted to go to the pool, but that was $25, even though we stayed at the hotel. And then we're like, okay, never mind. And so they turned into a nightclub at night. And then we're like, well, how much is that? $50 to get in for cover fee. And I'm like,
Jeez.
what? I'm like, oh, we're staying here. And they go, yep. I go, okay. And like everything was $20. I remember I brought like $400 of just like free money. I didn't want to gamble with it, but I was just like, well, if there's something cool I want to buy, or like, like I'll splurge on food. And I turned into a miser immediately. And I still blew through it, just eating and like, doing stuff. Like I couldn't believe it. That was like honestly shocking. But I've never been to LVO, so I don't know if that was like, if that was any better or worse.
It's also, I had a Red Bull, a 8-ounce Red Bull, $10.
Yep. Okay. No, just as bad.
The lunch that they would cater a lunch where they have a bunch of, crappy burgers or crappy pulled pork. And it was $10 for the sandwich, and then like $4 for a water and like $6 for a soda.
Holy
and like
crap.
a can of soda.
Yeah. So this is
So $20 for cafeteria food.
This is like things that people generally don't talk about when they go to events, is like
It's
where the extra costs that kind of come up. And like Nova, have you ever been to Nova?
not been to Nova. No.
Okay. Hopefully it fires this year, but when you go to Nova, everything's like, and the hotel's like $1 more than you think it should be. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, so you don't really pack a lot. I'd bring a cooler full of energy drinks.
Hey, Evan, get ready for that again here coming up in March.
Yeah, I know, right? It's gonna be like Chicago. But like you have an understanding with the place. You're like, I'm willing to pay this extra made up money fee for the convenience of not having to go get it, but it's not egregious enough where I'm upset. Like there's a known known interaction happening where we're both making side eye contact. I'm still gonna buy that energy drink. And
But
that's
I
what.
see you.
Yeah, right. Like I know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
I really want that Red Bull and that Snickers. Like, and Nova has this great little it's a little diner outside. You can get like a breakfast for like $6 or $5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like right across the road. Nova's was very good for that, but like I was kind of expecting that, like a casino. I thought they just make all their money on the gambling and that everything else would be kind of like lower, but turns out
Yeah.
they make all their
No.
money on everything else, and gambling's just like
$18 omelet in the morning.
yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
Oh,
it
geez.
was good, but like, poof.
All right, Nick, do you have another zinger for him? I know we haven't been talking much about
Another
LVO.
zinger. All right, I guess we'll put the little capstone zinger on here. That
Yeah.
the standard. So you said, I guess we can two-part this. So you said you're not taking this list again to I'm blanking out, to Kanto.
Yeah.
If you were though, what would you tweak? What would you drop? Anything not really performed to your expectations there?
I'd probably drop
Would
that
you-
Overwatch like we talked about for recon intel.
Okay.
Everything else, what did I have on Han?
You
I've
had
used it so
vigilance,
much.
duck and cover,
Yeah, I
and
used
E
it,
gear.
used it. No, I used all three of those all the time.
You had hunter on Chewy.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Hunter on Chewy, when you've got teamwork Han
Teamwork.
behind it,
Yeah.
especially with all the Magna Guards. Because of the Magna Guards, Hunter, like, Sniper puts one wound on a Magna Guard, in comes Chewy and gets a free aim and shot at Magna Guards. And now Han has an aim that he can move and shoot. Like, no, Hunter was value.
All right. So let's back up again to I was gonna ask this and reminded me of it. How often did you get to use vigilance? Sometimes I find that Luke just gets shot his dodges off anyway, unless it's like a preemptive.
No, I did
thing.
every except maybe 1 or 2 rounds. I was always saving someone's dodge. Luke has 3, 4 command cards where he's getting a dodge, and I would save that one. Not a lot of shots on Luke in some games. That finals game, I don't think he ever shot at Luke. The one time he was able, I was like super ready for it, and just no shots. It's like, oh, sad.
Yeah, full surprises, right?
Yeah. And like 3 dodges, I think.
Okay.
At least 2 dodges.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, 1 from vigilance, 1 from full surprises.
Okay. So yeah, you do, but you like stock
It lets
up
you
while it's
double up
safe.
the dodge on
Yeah.
Luke, which
Okay.
is new for me. I didn't used to run vigilance, and I like it.
It's super
Alright.
good. Like it's a card that says it has clones on it, but it says this is for rebels. Like
We see you're nimble.
yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, we ran out of time. I was gonna start list theorizing for Kanto. I was either gonna do I was asked to bring all the Wookiees.
Hit it quick.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, we got a little bit of time. So I was asked to bring all the Wookiees. So Chieftain, 3 rebel, Chieftain with O-Push, 3 just clones, 3 melee Wookiees with Bowcaster, 3 Flutters with Bowcaster. And that was just really mean. But so part of me, like, it's funny, and I put on my Wookiee outfit and I got my Wookiee mask on. And I'm kind of like dancing around my Wookiees, like making Wookiee noises as I'm playing. Like I just think it's funny and fun, but the list is actually kind of an NPE. Like it's a not fun play experience because it's just that Pierce. And like you'd see just the blood drain from the other person's eyes. Like you'd be like, oh, Pierce one.
It's very similar to Tauntauns.
Yeah, it's just like Pierce one,
It's
Pierce
just like
one,
a threat,
Pierce one.
threat overload, and you can't really do much about it.
And so Kanto, I was looking at, is this going to be kind of like I wanted to bring a list that didn't get run over, but I also didn't want to, like, there's going to be a lot of new people there and a lot of people just kind of playing to have fun. And I didn't want to just like, with some like super Wookiee list. So give them a good slap. So I had an Empire list and this may be just as bad. But all right. So the first rendition, maybe we could tweak this. Maybe this will be a good learning exercise. So Op Vader, he's got burst of speed, La Force push. Let's see, force push, tenacity, and into the fray. Boom. And then the next threat is a lat with
Is it a threat?
Baron,
Yeah,
high velocity HQ uplink. So
I like that lat. I'm not sure I like it in this list, but
so the lat. So there's 2 units I stand
out
hard.
of all of the lats, that's my favorite lat. But
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's 2 units I stand hard in Legion right now. It's the Fluttercraft and the lat, because people poo-poo them so much, and I say, nay, sir. But so a funny thing about how the lat works with Darth Vader, if Vader's in the lat, when you play Master of Evil, when Vader activates, he's still in the lat, and so the range 2 band
Yeah.
for that goes off of the lat instead of Vader. So you move it up, you Master of Evil.
shame my droids didn't care.
Yeah, but that's a problem, right? So like, there's a faction who just doesn't care if I do that, and that's crazy. That's actually crazy, right? Like it's a 3 suppression used to be like a game changer if you got in there, right? So that's my start. Was I wanted to do that, and then I had one that had an ATST with Vice on it in there. So it'd be those 2 things. So lat, the Baron Rudar lat is very interesting because he can take care of himself. He never like needs an order. He readies.
That's that's what I like about him, is that he's a focus piece for free,
Yeah.
kind of. He doesn't really take your attention.
No, he doesn't really care. Like, so like once I drop Vader off, all he's gonna do for the rest of the game is ready fire, and he'll get his HQ uplink back, and then he'll get an aim for readying, and then he can use that to marksman up a shot or fix on some egregious red dice in the energy cell with the. So you're throwing 3 red, 3 black, and a white, critical 1 with an aim to marksman. So generally you're getting critical 1. So you're generally getting like 3 crits in there, maybe 4 sometimes each shot. That's kind of high, but that's when I threw all those dice, about what I got. And for 130 points now, like, it's okay. Like, it's not bad. So Vader, lat, ATSD with everything with Vice, and I think they had an HQ, and then we're gonna do 3 snipers because I am sweaty sometimes, and then we're gonna do and I think the coup de grace was 3 naked
Coup?
The coup de grace, the coup of the chickens was 3 naked snowtroopers, and that's the list. It's 796. I took naked stows over storms for the peekaboo, like being able to move out, shoot, maybe get a suppress. They're not there to kill anything. They're there to get suppression out and just jump back. Or you could dump the 3 strikes and the 3 snows for 3 naked shores and 3 mortars to really just double down that suppression game. So 3 mortars and then 3 naked storms. 3 naked shore troopers and 3 mortars, and that's 790.
I like at least a mortar there for maybe some fire support plays. Giving an extra critical out would not be bad. Or
yeah, on with the lat or the ATSD, honestly.
I'm worried about that. ATSD is a bit of its own animal. I'm a little worried about that against like something like double airspeeder.
Yeah, it's a weird game, right? Because double airspeed will roll up, and one will put probably, let's say, 3 wounds onto it, maybe 4 in a shot. I could, with impact 4, with all the dice throwing at it, probably do the same, but they're just too much. It's too much impact and critical, right? I'll just get run over.
Assuming if you assume that they've got the control and the timing, because that's I think you sent me that one. That's like a 9-act list.
Yeah, it's
that you're
9-act.
running.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be able to safely engage and double blap the ATST first.
Yeah, I think double heavy looks cool with Empire.
It does look cool.
And Vader's cool, and it's all painted, so I don't need to paint anything.
There it is.
Yep.
But honestly, I went over a lot with, do I want 3 snipers and 3 snows? Again, just doing the peekaboo, like jumping out, throwing. I just want a suppression. I don't even care about damage. I'm just like, hey, you're getting 1 less action. See ya. And then when they get into melee, they're just as good as normal stormtroopers if I have to. If they need to, like they'll kill die if like Wookiees or something get to them. But you get all Vader's cards. I could do, if I really wanted to try hard on it, I could just take Vader out, throw Veers in there, and give like heavies to all the shore. You know, you can
Vader's
like,
so good.
Yeah.
he's so
You,
good.
you said burst of speed on Vader?
Yep.
So that's my big argument against the lat. Is
I
that
was gonna
I
get
feel
there
like
too.
part of what you're paying for with the lat is getting Vader to the enemy line. And now with him at speed 2 and a burst of speed, he doesn't need it.
Okay. So
Mhm.
let's say I shave the burst of speed. Do I shave the burst of speed or do I shave the lat? Because
Shape
lat,
the lat.
I mean,
Burst of
no.
speed
know-
is 5
we-
points. The lat is
Okay,
130.
we all know the answer, but what will you do?
No, my plane. It sits up proudly on the one of the few vehicles I actually have painted next to a bunch of gray 40K crap I'll never use. There's a Bane blade up there that's never gonna see a table.
I also, the same spot you pointed, I have my Bane blade is up there.
Yeah, just sitting, just hopefully. But it's the problem is like there's a couple vehicles that I think are ripe for someone to go like 4-1 in the tournament with, and like really make people like your list, John, will shape a meta. And I'm not saying that as like a huge boast, but like people like, oh, Han's good, right? Han Chewie are good. Maybe I should start looking at Han Chewie.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's kind of the idea.
Right.
But like you're gonna start.
I would maybe not shape, but he's definitely added to it. Like suddenly, now that this is showing us here, oh shit, Flyboys is in the meta now.
Yeah, it's still good.
He put his foot in the door.
Even if you
They're
go Commander Luke, if you need save points, like it's not as good as Op Luke. Op Luke's just this amazing machine, but like
Disgusting.
you could still do it. Like it's not
Okay.
like
All right, here we go.
all right.
We found our closing topic here.
Okay.
Is Commander Luke, take away Op Luke. Let's say Op Luke doesn't exist. Is Commander Luke a good unit? All the cards are still there. Because I think he is.
You get the other 3 command cards still?
Other 3 command cards are still there.
Yeah.
All 6 command cards, I think Commander Luke is still a very good to even to like high tier unit. I just think he's always in the shadow.
Yeah.
He is now.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it used to be
Burst of speed, still access to it. Yeah.
it's used to be Commander Luke was considered the best unit in the game, like best value for your points for a long time. I think actually probably
Commander Luke is still also the perfect watermark for like a balanced unit. I don't think he's ever needed an adjust. He's been unadjusted since the introduction of Legion, essentially.
Yeah,
And he anything that happens to him is like periphery stuff that happens to multiple people, aside from the new command cards. And he's weathered it all. I think he's still a good unit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have like a clap back, just to keep like an argument, like just to keep a conversation going on it. And I'm like, no, he's
Well, I think that the clapback is I think the only time you wouldn't use them is if for some reason you needed a commander. You wouldn't use Op Loop, that is if you needed a commander and your operative slots were already full, which I guess, unless you're running like old school crisscross.
Yeah.
And R2 is R2 Chewie, which I think is like R2 Commander Luke, R2 Chewie bus. Maybe.
I
Bus.
don't know. I only like the bus, I think, for Wookiees right now after the nerf.
I like it for fleets quite a
Or
bit.
fleets, but fleets dies soon right after.
Immediately. They come out, they
Yeah.
shoot, and then they just get evaporated.
And are they worth 60 points for that shot? Like,
I think you go the 2 naked rebel troopers, whatever, fleets in there as your third core because you got to take them. And I think you run the bus alongside the Wookiees. Like maybe it does some like body block something. I don't think the Wookiees really need it to get there.
I have played a lot of Wookiees. Some tables they need it to get there.
Yeah, you know
Fair.
what? It's interesting. So I think we had talked about this a while ago. Nick and I just off camera, off topic. there's something so in AOS where you actually bring terrain. Like I like the Gloom Spike Gits, I like my Gobbo boys. Oh, it's a real gut buster. I love them. But they have a shrine that you can bring. It's part of their list. It's free or it's like minimal points. And then when you play the game, the tables, however it is, you bring a piece of terrain to the table that goes with your list, and they get like a little benefit. Like if they kill all of the goblins, all the night goblins, are just little poker sticks and shields. You roll a die and you might get half back. They spell the shrine. But the most important part of that is you get to bring a piece of terrain to a table that you can affects the game, right? Like, hey, I use this for line of sight blocker. I want to put it here. I'm going to use this for something else. So the tank, specifically the rebel tank, is that, right? You could take it naked, I guess. It's not the best way to use it. We could just take it naked as a mobile heavy cover / line of sight blocker. For like 60 points or whatever it is, 75 points. It's not like if someone did that and posed that to me as an argument, be like, hey, I never know what table I'm going to go to, but I want to make sure I have some LOS against stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay. Look at the Gaff tank. Gaff tank is really just there to be heavy cover. Like, honestly, like, and there used to be that talk about like, well, you put
you're not
the box...
selling me by comparing it to the Gaff tank.
I know, but like you used to put the boxes on the back, and that because that was a legal part of the tank with the hyper crystal boxes, wherever they were. And that created LOS blocking. Like you couldn't see over it for certain. I don't know if the barricade, the standees, the silhouettes changed that now, but it used to be like normal stormtroopers couldn't see over it. So you would bring it up and then it would create mobile line of sight blocking. And I think that's interesting, and something Legion's missing is hey, you brought a Hoth themed list. You get one of those towers or a bunker line, or I don't know, make it up. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you've built within the restriction, so you get this cool like thing to add to a table. And that they'd have to, it's not easy to do that because AOS trains like nothing. It's like 3-4 pieces, like 2 forests.
Yeah, AOS is as Grant, I'm not an expert, but I don't believe it's a very terrain dependent game. Not like
no, it's like it's weirdly sometimes it's like 2 forests. There's like the underwater fish people who bring broken like giant shipwrecks that they can put around, and they can use those for buffs. Like I find that very interesting. Maybe like in a Scarif Empire list, they get like a mini bunker kind of thing that they deployed the garrison out of, right? Like something like that, right? Like I'm not posing the idea perfectly right now, but I think it'd be interesting. The tank just sparked it to me a while ago that you could bring something to kind of fix a table side for yourself, because they used to do Barricadia. Do you remember that? When that's what the Outriders started, like everyone put down 2 barricades at the beginning of the game because these tables aren't great, like right, like that's what it was. So it's exactly what it was. And so now we've got different cards, and the Legion train tables have evolved, and like Nick Brobnar makes some fantastic tables, and these Kanto guys tables sound like amazing, right? Like, but not every place you play will have that. And not every table you get to, you might get a bad board edge or something where like being able to bring a reasonable, like a game changing piece of terrain, not just barricades. Barricades are fine. You put your guys behind, they get heavy cover, they still get whatever, like they do the thing. But I think down the line, it'd be very interesting if it was like, hey, you brought rebels, you get to bring a broken T-65 or something, like, and you put that down and it has like the wings up just at an angle where it gives you some line of sight blocking, and maybe a bonus if Luke's around. I don't know, right? Like it's Luke's ship. I don't know. I'm just kind of like jibber-jabbering right now, but it's like
okay.
If you could, and it would cost you points in your list. So like, hey, I'm betting, I want to guarantee that I have line of sight blocking in this game, and it's not. I've been to a table it was one of the RPQs I went to in Rochester, where I played on a table that had 0 line of sight blocking terrain. I had rebels, he had an Empire gun line, and I got tabled, and there was nothing I could do about it, right? Like that's happened to me personally, and I lost an invite chance that way. So I don't, again, this is very like top brain, but like maybe if you're Empire, you could bring like a downed ATST. I don't know, you paid like 50 points or something. I don't know what it would be, but like you got like to bring that piece of terrain and like put it somewhere on the board to give you like a point.
Well, to make the comparison to something already a little bit more established, 40K actually has something in their force org charts. I'm not sure if it's in all of them anymore because they split them into different types.
Yeah.
But there actually was a specific slot for optional fortifications.
Yeah, it's
that
still
you could
there.
bring.
Yeah. The Gene Stealers can take a giant drill.
Yeah.
They used to like send
But
seismic
there was
shocks
also
at people.
some like universal ones too. Like there was like just plain up defensive line emplacements and stuff that you could bring. And like even something simple like, okay, you can bring a cargo crate and it's full of ammo. So it lets your guys re-roll an extra die or something when they attack if they're near it. And also it's a brick, so it can block line of sight. So
yeah, because you'd be surprised how
even-
much a shipping container will do, right?
yeah.
Just to give you some cover. Because I've been to some boards where like there's a tank, or even on TTS, there's like Nick and I have played quite a bit on TTS. So it'll be like he'll play AAAT and there's just nowhere to hide. Like sometimes it just kind of shakes out like that. I'm like, man, like these guys are gonna get shot a lot. Like I don't know what to do. But another weird Evan tangent. Didn't mean to go that far off, but I was just thinking about it. And yeah, like Tau have that. Eldar used to have that with warp gates, webway gates. Tau have like mobile fortifications they can bring. Marines have like the bunkers and like the turrets. I think that's a cool design space for Legion, and I hope maybe that goes that way. I was always very disappointed too that when the ATSD blew up, it didn't leave rubble. It didn't like when it got destroyed, it didn't like fall down. Because there's other games like War Machine, the jacks were your robots. When they exploded, they were train. They just became like a train piece.
Warhammer used to do that too.
Yeah, like I think
Back in the
that's
day.
cool. Like right, like yeah, you just it used to be in Warhammer, right? You take the head of your tank off and you put like smoke coming out of it. It just showed like it's
maybe like
gone
one
now.
of those little like T lights, the little
the
LEDs that
tea
flicker in
lights
there.
with
Yeah,
the smoke, so it looks like fire. Like, but I mean, like that's cool, right? Like it shows the battle's evolving, and you can kind of look at the table as a spectator and be like, oh, what's going on here? Like this is intense. Like there's tanks blown up and like Marines everywhere. But I got way off topic, and I apologize we didn't talk about LVO as much as maybe we maybe we wanted to. But
fine. We got some takes on the list. I appreciated it. So
Yeah.
well, good.
it was probably a little technical for a Fifth Trooper episode, but you know what? I like it.
It's technical, and you hear Evan yell about snipers for like 20 minutes. And another thing that's lame, Pierce.
We'll cut it in post.
Yeah.
We'll trim it
Why
down.
do they have Pierce? Everything's a buff to snipers. Don't listen to him. Everything's a buff to snipers. They ruined the game. We get dragged out of a room. But all right, everybody. I'll call it here. Thanks for listening to the Fifth Trooper podcast. We'll be back. We're going to try to do twice a month to keep it going. And Nick and I will be here, and we'll give it another shot. So everyone, thanks for listening.
Join us next week.
Have a great
for
night and stay
another
rad.
edition of the Fifth
Have a
Trooper
good one.
podcast.
Take care.
This has been a Fifth Trooper production.